Welcome to the Human Experience by Hiddenbody. Rich, Tim and I, we've been practicing and studying within the field of movement for 10 plus years. Through our explorations, we're trying to bring a lighter and more inclusive approach to the movement practice and to the human experience. Now, if you want to develop strength, flexibility and skills, or you want to stimulate your body and your brain, go to hiddenbody.nl. Let's continue with today's episode. Hello everyone, this is Jori from Hiddenbody, and today I would like to share with you about this team challenge that Rich, Tim and I started this week. So for 30 days we are focusing on the breath, and in particular on nose breathing as opposed to mouth breathing. And yeah, I will share a bit of background information and 3 benefits on nose breathing, and then also a first insight. So earlier this year in October we started the second years of the human movement study with Marcello Palozzo, and we received materials around the so-called tonic body, and it involved systems for speed and endurance training, but also for opening and strengthening and coordinating the respiratory structures. So just to promote breathing in general, but also to learn how to activate or actually relax your system. It's been very powerful. And then also to manage stress and restorative work. And it's really about optimizing and strengthening the energy systems, or increasing the energy systems. And it's been very challenging and powerful at the same time. I've been running for very small periods in my life, and with that I mean I would start and then a week later I would stop again, and I would sense this primal power and just of running, right, as a human being, but it wouldn't leave me running for too long. And then when I was recovering from a knee injury and I had surgery, I was actually going to a lot of hot yoga, and in this space they actually immediately told me to always breathe through my nose. And I was doing this, at least this hot yoga I was doing for 5 to 6 days a week, and sometimes even 2 times a day. And what that does is just a lot of repetition, and this nose breathing became in a way automatized, as in I was also doing it when I was riding the bike, or when I was just walking, or when laying down in bed. It would just always be there, but I would never really dig any deeper than that until I was reading the book Breath by James Nestor. This was in 2020, but then again it just stayed with the words in a way, until now that we are really studying and practicing it through the human movement studies. And the other benefit of having 2 people very close to you that are also deeply involved in it, as Rich would say, it's gold that we're just coming together each Monday as a team. And Tim would say it's really needed to pinch your skin to still know if this is reality. Love you guys. But so now we're doing this challenge, and for this first week I wanted to just share 3 benefits, not the only benefits, but just a couple, and then my first insight. So here it goes. The first benefit is that this nose breathing cleanses and protects. So what I mean with that is that if you just breathe through the nose, your nose can actually filter out any harmful particles or dust or allergens, and it also warms the air when it comes in. So this makes sure that the lung tissue is protected, and it also promotes kind of the carbon dioxide and oxygen exchanges. And then the second one is nitric oxide production, and nitric oxide is just this molecule that really helps kind of the optimizing also your blood circulation, and also this how would you say, absorption of oxygen in the lungs. And then the third one is stress reduction. I would say a very important one. We feel all the stress from time to time. Maybe you feel it a lot. But because you're breathing just through the nostrils, you're actually taking deeper inhales, because you can imagine it's smaller passageways for the air to go through. And it also stimulates the vagus nerve. So this is a nerve, and if it gets stimulated, you can actually reduce your heart rate, and it will also just really calm you down, and you will find more relaxation. So just as opposed to breathing through the mouth. Now, I would just like to end with my first insight, to make it more personal in a way. And that is that I've noticed that if I'm focusing on my breath and I start to focus on breathing through the nose, that there is a shift that is happening in 3 layers. So the first one is that, okay, I notice the breath around the nose and my face, and then it will shift from my face to my chest. And then I will start to feel the breath from the chest into the belly. And so it shifts down. And what that does is that also, by going away from this area more, I also go away a little bit more from the cognitive processes. So too much thinking, too much thinking, I would say. And what it does is that I will start to go more to the sensations in the body. And in this way, I'm actually creating a feedback loop. So I'm sensing maybe tensions in the body, and I'll start to understand more why I was feeling or thinking in ways. So it's just a very powerful thing that I wanted to share. And for now, I just want to wish you a beautiful morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you are. And sending you this buzzing excitement of this value that your body holds. Thank you for listening. Thank you for observing, and see you in the next one.
Hey there, it's Rich from Hiddenbody, and today I'm taking you along for a small ritual. It's the beginning of December. It's cold as F, and I'm here with my tiny foldable bike. It has a few advantages. First advantage is that I need to pedal twice as hard than I would have to on a regular bike. And the second advantage, especially if you love racing electric bikes, is that it's twice as rewarding when you overtake an electric bike on this tiny foldable bike, which takes me everywhere. I actually almost broke the steering wheel because of the way I was riding the bike. But now I'm here today at the beach because I'm going to enter the cold, also in preparation for the Xposure class or the Xposure workshop, which I will be running with four students, four committed students who've been consistently showing up for a long time for the classes and who filled in an application form. And I'm really excited because I will be sharing the materials of the second year of the Human Movement Studies, which are all developed around the idea of a tonic body, a body that is very efficient in how it consumes energy, and also a body that is capable of dealing with very high amounts of stress while still maintaining a level of composure and regulation. And I have to say, also from my personal investigations, research and practice, that it's truly a mind-boggling experience to notice how much energy literally you can feel throughout the day when you improve your oxygen efficiency, and how much stressors you can handle when you improve your ability to deal with very high amounts of stress as a result of reducing your oxygen intake. And today I'm going to choose self-selected difficulty, because we of course live in a society and culture where we are moving more and more towards comfort, which of course is very beneficial in terms of saving energy, but then we are taking it all the way to the extreme where we are saving so much energy that we start gaining excessive amounts of energy, but we also lose the connection with our physical experience. And then when we reawaken these parts of ourselves by entering the cold, or by going for a long run, or hopping on a tiny bike and racing your heart out, you are always rewarded with a very profound feeling of accomplishment. And eventually this feeling of accomplishment transforms into the activity in and of itself as being a rewarding activity. So for example, let's say you're digging a hole, right? And you keep digging and digging because you're looking for a treasure, you're looking for a prize, you're looking for something. And then at a certain point, once you've repeatedly found something, you start anchoring your reward or your experience of reward to the digging in and of itself. So the digging and the destination become the same thing, right? Or the challenge and the reward become the same thing. And one of the books that we've been reading within our studies, the writer Christopher Wallace, he says that the reward you get is proportional to the challenge you face. So whether you have a big challenge or a small challenge, or whether you have no challenge at all, in all those situations, you could have and still maintain a positive outlook, right? Because let's say everything is going exactly the way you want it to go, great, right? You feel happy, you feel calm, you feel at ease, you feel a certain level of serenity. Then shit hits the fan, great, because you know that shit hitting the fan is at the same time the opportunity to turn that shit into gold. And this is just a constant reminder, which just like doing push-ups, you need to do reps, right? You need to do reps until those reps transform into tissues. The same applies to ideas, to concepts, to the subjective world on the inside, which then transforms into the objective world that we can actually measure, right? So there are always these studies on how remarkable the power of the mind is, and the mind can do this, and it's amazing. But we're seeing this all the time. I mean, your internal and external world are intimately connected with each other. Just look at my face. It is reflecting something going on at the inside, which at this point is anticipation, because I'm looking at the ocean and I'm talking in a video by myself here, which in a way is it's a weird experience if you zoom out a little bit, but at the same time I also know that it's a useful one, because I know there are people watching, and it might hit a part of you that will make you want to go outside and go for a walk, or go for a run, or go for a bike ride, or maybe even jump into
So I just came back from a nice morning run. This is something we're currently researching, studying and investigating inside of the human movement study year 2. And this falls under the umbrella, the tonic body, which is referring to the life force that we have. And apart from trying to improve different energy systems, such as the anaerobic one, the aerobic one, and also the ATP system, one of the key parts that I think serves as a not per se, a skill, but also as an antenna for all of the things that we're doing with the tonic body, but also for a lot of other things, is working on the breath. And apart from having different breathing exercises, one of the experiments that Jori, Rich and I are running is to see the effects of just doing a very relatively simple task, which is breathing through the nose. And the effects of nose breathing have been quite astonishing for me. So apart from the crazy benefits that it has to nose breathe instead of mouth breathe, because nose is for breathing, the mouth is for eating, as a wise guy would say. It has been a tremendous power for me. So my wife, she in the past used to have sometimes a little bit of feedback around my snoring in the morning, but very interestingly, this is one of the things that has been either completely depleted or diminished, or just on a rare occasion it's there. And therefore, like, no snoring means that there is also a better proficiency of breathing inside of your sleep cycles. So one of the things I'm noticing is that I'm much more fresh and energetic in the morning, which is super interesting. And also what I notice is that I'm much more calmer when I'm breathing. So of course the breath is autonomically regulated very frequently. However, we can exert a level of consciousness over our breath, right? You can place your attention towards your breathing and therefore manipulating it into a more relaxed or manipulating the breath into creating a more relaxed state or a more coherent state or an activated state. But in general, my normal breath pace or my normal breathing rhythm, it's significantly lowered, in which I noticed that the interval between breathing in, inhaling, and breathing out, exhaling, is also a bit expanded. So no more snoring, feeling better, so feeling more energetic. And another thing, so I just mentioned, I came back from a morning run. One of the things I'm experimenting is doing a breath hold after around a kilometer running. So then I would exhale normally, take a couple of steps, and then inhale again. And of course, this is something, if you do it, treat it with care, because the power of the breath is very enormous. So you don't want to push it so far that you might pass out. But you can start very light, so taking 5 to 6 steps and then increasing it. But what it does for me, like every time I do it, I just feel a spike in the process of oxygenation, which basically means the ability of the body, of basically the ability of the red blood cells to release the oxygen molecules that they carry and then release them and distribute them towards the tissue. So imagine that you get a hit towards the muscles, the cardiovascular system that is then utilizing it to giving you basically more energy. So that is already something that I'm doing. And then continuously I hold or I breathe through my nose. So while running, nose breathing, and also with these empty breath holds during running, it's been quite astounding, to be honest. Like it's a very long time ago that I've run, and like I just hit recently a 440 kilometer pace on a 5 kilometer run. Yeah, and I couldn't even imagine hitting that. Like, I think for serious runners it's like, oh, that's okay, but for me it was like, oh wow, shit. And I think I owe this a lot towards nasal breathing and working with the breath. So keep you guys posted about what's to come and how it will further influence Jori, Rich and I. Check you later.
So we arrived at the location for today, this Saturday morning, where we'll be spending our time, and Rich and I just prepared the Saturday study at the Rembrandt Park, nice park close by. And we also set the intention for today, right, Rich? So we really look forward to synchronizing today with our students here into the new space, breathing, movement, life, energy. Is he gonna dive in? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so this is the space. Today's episode. We hope you could extract something useful out of our experience, and make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed our content. If you want to know how Hiddenbody can help you develop strength, flexibility and skills, or stimulate your body and brain, go to hiddenbody.nl in the description below to find out what it is that we have to offer.